Hey guys, welcome back. I have some really exciting news. And of course, if you have noticed the thumbnail, this will be my very first CISO interview. Or at least I have been going through the process of screening, which I've done today. And it's actually through a agency and they're looking to place the CISO into a larger organization. Now, it is a consulting firm, so it's kind of weird the situation that I'm in right now or how it's played out because I applied on LinkedIn. It's a recruiter agency. The recruiter agency is hiring for the consulting firm, and the consulting firm puts this individual into another organization that it will be managing its security posture or security infrastructure and to grow that out. So I asked casually, hey, is this something that someone is leaving and they're departing and we're just filling in another position? And they said, no, this is a brand new position and they are planning to build it from the ground up. And they were looking for someone, to my surprise, that I was selected, or at least, I was screened as an individual that may have potential of filling this role. Now, here's another thing I've learned or I found out. There are other YouTube channels that talk about CISO positions, and that's CISO. Now, I know a lot of you guys are not going to be like, oh, that's way beyond where I am. But for me, this is really new and it will be like my next challenge because I've been doing this for 10 plus years, if not more, if I'm willing to date myself. But let me just go over high overview of what actually happened today. So it wasn't yes, it was yesterday I actually applied for the position. I threw myself out there and I knew right away that I didn't have all the qualifications that they were looking for, but I said, you know what? Let me just give it a shot anyway. And lo and behold, the recruiter reached back out to me and said my resume or whatever I've been doing looks pretty good. And I was like, "Oh, okay. So maybe I do have a chance." And of course, they sent me a full blown description and the roles and responsibilities of what this position or the CISO is going to be doing. No name. Actually, they do have a name of the consulting firm, but the consulting firm holds the name of the private organization that they would place you in, which I have no idea who that is or what that is. Okay. From my understanding, it would be in the financial business. And so, fast forward, I was on the phone for like 30 minutes and we had a brief discussion like, what are you looking to do? Why are you so ambitious about, taking on this responsibility and this role? If you don't know, CISO positions are not technical. And I could tell you right now, I know I'm looking at the job description and I would say not one thing on here mentions anything about being technical. And I'll read it out only because I don't want to go into details of showing it and because there is a name there and I don't want to scrub it because I don't know how many locations that I would miss. But let's go over some of the roles summary. All right, partner with local sales team to help our client implement an effective cybersecurity program that protects against threats, propels transformation, and drives growth. Okay, develop collaborative relationship with clients, business unit leaders, and teams, which we all do that, right? Provide consultative support to the sales team by uncovering and capitalizing on security sales opportunity. Understand the client's technology environment and whiteboard solution in a articulate way that flows and illustrates the purpose. Translate business requirements into technical and programmatic security requirements. Work closely with blank security leadership and sales team to develop the customer facing go-to-market strategies for security solutions and customer success. So as you can see, just from this brief list that I mentioned, not once did it say you need to know technical, you need to know networking, you need to know pen testing. No, none of that. As a CISO going in, you are responsible for the business, right? Building relationships, managing the individuals who are technical to fulfill their roles and duties, and ultimately satisfying your end goal for the organization, which is really, really challenging in my opinion. I have seen it firsthand, but I have never once thought that I would sit into or transition myself into a CISO position. So this is like history in the making for me. This will be my very first, like I'm popping the cherry for the very first time, even if I get an interview for a CISO position. All right. I'm not saying that I would get it, but as you can see, I have failed the very technical stuff, but I'm pretty okay. I mean, I'm mid-level. I have a team, and and I work with them. I work with other team members from other departments, not just the security team. We got the LAN team, we got the networking team, we got the wireless team, we got a whole bunch of team, backup teams, and all that collaborating. And someone has to drive that sometimes. And fortunate for me, I've gotten that experience, and I still do that on the day-to-day. So, fast forward, what are they looking for? And I was like, oh man, they really want a lot out of this person to fill in this position. But I've also learned is that not every CISO position wants a previous CISO. Why? Because if you're coming from a lower mid management level and you want to progress up into the CISO position, one, in my opinion, they could probably dumb down the salary just a little bit. Two, they can not manipulate, but mold you to how they want you. Because if you go in as a seasoned professional, right, as a CISO, in my opinion, you would do what you've learned using your past experiences, and it may not align with the ultimate goal of, let's just say, the CIO or the organization in general, right? Because you already have this established persona as the CISO and you're gonna run it the way you run it. Maybe what I'm thinking is they're looking for one notch down, so that way you will follow a little bit more closely to the goals of the organization, and you won't fight back as much because you're given this opportunity to become a CISO for the very first time. And that is the goal of it, right? Because now you're like, okay, I'm not saying that like you're a yes, sir, kind of a like throughout all the, you will have your mind to think, but at the same time, you're still learning. And that's my goal, is to constantly learn. So let me go over some of the requirements that they're asking for. Must have prior big banking experience at a director or VP level. I didn't have that. I don't have that. Minimum 15 years board information security experience. I have a shy under 15. I'm like 10 plus. Okay. Previous experience as corporate CISO. I don't have that either. I do not have that either. Extensive background in all aspects of IT architecture, planning, and strategy. That I have. That I can say I have. And a few certifications under your belt, or relevant certifications desired. That I have. I could satisfy that. Strong financial business with understanding of multi-facet business operations. That I have. I have worked in many organizations, including the financial sector. So I do have that. And the requirements keep on going. It's not a short list. It's definitely really, really long. And I'll just grab another one from the bottom section. Conflict negotiation and problem solving skills and agility. I could do that. I've done that. I've actually read a lot of books on negotiation, and I believe I'm pretty good at that. You know what? That negotiation book should be applied to anything, but I'm going to focus it on cybersecurity, because you can negotiate so many things outside of salary, benefits, days off, working from home, hybrid, a lot of factors you can negotiate. Besides, oh, this job only offers up to 150,000, and they're not willing to move around, but you can negotiate other things on top of that. I could work from home once a day, once a week, or during these weeks I would like to take off, whatever. A lot of things you can manipulate. All right, so that was one of them. Let's look at the really last line item that they had for requirements. It says AppSec and cloud experience. So they obviously put that all the way in the bottom, meaning that's more technical at this point, but your understanding and your comprehension of it plays a little factor of it, right? A small percentage. You need to know these certain things to be a CISO, right? You can't just go in blind and say, what is all this new technology? I have no idea, but I could lead a business. Possibly, possibly. But that's it. I mean, that's definitely what I was going through right now, and I was like so excited that I had a screening for a CISO position. Not saying that I'm gonna definitely get it, but it's a new opportunity, and I'm experiencing for the first time. I'm talking about it for the first time. Not in my 10 years that I think that I was gonna be sitting or wanting to sit in a CISO position. Always heard a lot of negative things like, oh, they don't last long. Possibly, there's a lot of heat on them. They're like the biggest target in the back of any organization, because if something happens, that's the first person they go to. Yes, it is. But if you do your due diligence and you actually, follow through and show that you actually showed that you wanted to, make things better, right? And if something did happen, you have proof of that, right? You have goals that you've set, and you put everything in place, and you still got compromised. That's not entirely always your fault, but at the same time, yes, unfortunately, someone's gonna be blamed for it. How did it happen? Why did it happen? Why wasn't it patched? Why wasn't it taken care of? Why wasn't it, considered when we were upgrading? So many things to consider, so many things to factor in when a situation like that arises. So, it's funny because I wanted to show you guys right now. I'm on LinkedIn right now, and I'll end the video here. Like, if you just type in CISO for job positions, there's not a shortage of it, right? A lot of companies are still looking, and each company, right, are gonna have different requirements. Now, some of them may want you to have more technical experience depending on the type of company, or more financial experience, more medical experience. It really depends on what field of the industry that you're trying to gather into this CISO role, or a senior level security role. And it's not easy. Let me tell you that. It's one position out of every organization has only one CISO, right? And that one CISO is going to be responsible for a team of guys. SOC analyst positions, you could probably have 10, 15 of them, right? Incident responder, you could probably have 5 to 6 of them. But the CISO is always going to be that one individual, and that one individual is going to oversee the entire security footprint of the organization. And that goes the same for, deputy CISO, director of security. I was going to say internet security, or just security in general, cybersecurity. So many things to consider, so many things to factor. But I wanted to share this with you, and watch out for my next video, because I will talk about negotiating with recruiters or hiring managers when you get an offer, right? I've done it myself, and unfortunately, as an individual, you can only work so many places at the current moment. I know some people hold 2 jobs, but for the most part, I think most of us who are here are looking to at least land that first job. And I will definitely help you guys out with that, because there's a lot of things you can probably offer, not your entire life, right? You're not selling your soul for this, for work, but sell yourself to a point where your enthusiasm, your personality overrides some of the things that you may be lacking in getting that job, right? And like I said, from the time I've been making these videos to now, I have been sitting back to back interviews, because my goal is to just learn the process. So far I have sat through so many screenings and interviews that everyone has a different approach. Some would be crazy technical, some would just be testing out and see how you are as a person, and some would just be like, I just want to see how you think. And I've gotten so many different avenues sitting through interviews, and it's been a great experience, and I don't plan on stopping. Now, I'm sitting through interview doesn't necessarily mean I'm constantly going to look for a new job and jump ship at every moment I get. Maybe, but at the same time, if that opportunity arises and it makes sense to me, I would consider, right? But you don't know till you throw yourself out there. Like, I didn't know I even qualified for the CISO position, and apparently someone likes my background, and I'm going to be moving on to the next steps. All right. So please remember to hit that like, comment, subscribe, and join me on this journey as I go through this process of interviewing for a CISO, at least hopefully. All right. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.